Go to LM Studio website. Click on Downloads. You'll see options for all operating systems. Select your operating system to download the installation file. Once the installer is downloaded, run it. Follow the setup prompts. You don't need to change anything unless you want to install to a different folder. LM Studio works on most PCs made in the last 8 to 10 years. You'll need at least 16 gigabytes of RAM for smooth performance. If you have less RAM, you can still use smaller models, but performance may be limited. LM Studio is free for personal use. If you plan to use it at work, you'll need to contact the team through their website. After installation, launch LM Studio. Click the Discover tab in the sidebar. This opens the model library. At the top, use the search bar to find a model. For example, type DeepSeek. Results are sorted by best match by default. You can also sort by most likes, most downloads, or recently updated. Each result shows the model name, author, number of likes, downloads, and when it was last updated. Click any model to see more. On the right, you'll see details like the model description, quantization options, and download size. You'll also see links to the original model, context length, and special notes if available. If a model is too large for your system, LM Studio will show a warning. Pick a smaller version that fits your setup. Click the green button in the corner to start the download. Once the model is downloaded, you can run it directly from the Downloads window, or go to the Chat tab, click Load Model, and select the one you just downloaded. LM Studio will load it into memory. Be patient. This can take several seconds or longer depending on the model size and your system. Once it's ready, you can start chatting. If you want to adjust how the model behaves, check that Power User Mode is selected at the bottom of the screen. Then click the flask icon in the top right to open the Advanced Configuration panel. At the top of the panel is the System prompt. This controls how the model behaves. For example, you can type, "You are a teacher." Explain things in simple terms like you're teaching someone with no background in the topic. Below the System prompt, you'll see the temperature setting. Temperature controls how focused or creative the model's responses are. Lower values give more direct answers. Higher values make replies more varied or flexible. The next option is Limit Response Length. This controls how long the model's reply can be. Limiting the length helps avoid overly long or rambling answers. For short responses, try around 200 tokens. For more detailed replies, go with 800 to 1000. Repeat penalty helps reduce repeated words or phrases in the model's response. A value around 1.1 works well in most cases. Lower values like 1.0 allow more repetition, while higher values like 1.2 make the model more strict. Once you've set everything the way you like, click the Save Preset As button at the top of the panel. Enter a name for your preset, then click Save. You can now switch to it anytime without setting things manually. If you want to check your system and how models are running, open the Runtime and Hardware sections. Click the Discover icon in the sidebar to open Mission Control, then select them from the left. The Runtime tab shows which model engine is currently active. If you have an NVIDIA GPU, make sure the CUDA runtime is selected for best performance. You can also switch to CPU only or other runtimes depending on your setup. The Hardware section shows your system specs, including CPU, RAM, GPU, and VRAM. If you have a supported GPU, like an NVIDIA card with CUDA, it will be listed here with its VRAM. On the left sidebar, the top icon opens your chats. The second icon is Developer View. useful for running code snippets and testing models in more technical workflows. Next is My Models, where you manage downloaded models. And at the bottom is Discover, where you browse and configure models. In the chat panel, you can start a new conversation by clicking the plus icon. Each chat has a menu button next to it where you can rename, duplicate, show it in your file explorer, or delete it. You can also create folders to organize your chats. Click the folder icon, give it a name, then drag any chat into it. You can move multiple chats this way to keep things grouped and easy to find. At the top right of the chat area, you'll find the Appearance and Duplicate buttons. Appearance lets you change the view mode between Markdown, plain text, and monospace. You can also adjust the font size and choose whether the chat expands to full width or shows reasoning blocks by default, while Duplicate creates a copy of the current conversation. At the bottom of the chat, you'll find the message input box. Next to it are buttons to upload images or files into the conversation. In the bottom right corner, you'll see System Resources Usage. It shows how much RAM and CPU are currently being used while LM Studio is running. If you'd like to suggest a topic for a future video, visit suggestions.onebluespork.com. You can submit ideas or vote on others you'd like to see covered next. The link is in the description.